Hey Dreamers, this is Jack to Play, so today we're going to do a new tutorial about faking shadows. And I already did like tutorials about lights and diffuse lights and spotlights and stuff like that. But this time we're going to dive a little bit into what you can do more with like lighting. And lighting is, as I said so many times already, light is so important in everything. So if you're going to do something in dreams, and please put some lights in your creation, and it will like it becomes like very stunning looking. Now you can see some pumpkins, so I know it's like it's it's a little bit Halloween, but it's not Halloween, but not yet at least. Like depends on when you're going to watch this. But this is like a place where I did mostly like fake the light that comes from the windows, and I will show you in this tutorial how I did this and how you should or can make something yourself as well. Now there are a disclaimer, and I think that I always now need to say it in my every video that I'm going to do a tutorial. Everything that I'm showing right now is not the only way to do it. There are multiple things, multiple solutions into something. So what I'm showing is not one way. It's just another way to do things in dreams. So sometimes, I don't know, people think that if someone makes a tutorial, that is the only way to do things. That is not, it's wrong. It's just there are multiple roads leading to a place to Rome. That is the saying. And that is actually true. There are multiple ways in dreams to achieve something. And what I'm going to show you in this tutorial is just one way to do things. And if you already have another solution, you can use that, of course. But that's not what my tutorial is about. For other solution, it's just this solution. um, I will, before we're going to do like how I did like fake lighting. There are a few things which you can do. Like probably people already know that, and I will show you anyway in the beginning. Like you can of course like fake shadow with spotlights, right? If you're going into the gadgets and you're going to lights, and you have here the spotlight going on. Then you have in all the way in the bottom, you have like a few options that like you can change the image of the spotlight. Let me like make this a little bit like so you can see a little bit better. So now we have like different images going on, like beaming on the ground. And that's how you also, that's like one way to fake lights, and also can fake if there's actually like trees going on on the outside or not. And so that's like one solution to how to fake lights, or to fake shadows, basically, not to fake lights, but to fake shadows. Um, but there are of course other ways to do things, and sometimes you need to do other things because, for example, in this case, and of course every creation has different um, like there's like different things going on, like different situations. But in my case, I have here a window that I made, and that window is behind a wall. Now, if you know how dreams work, light does not go through a wall unless you make something like waxiness a little bit, then it comes a little bit through, but not that great. Not like you get like this particular light effects into a hallway. So you need to do something like magic. You need to do magical stuff. And I will show you behind the scenes of what I did here. Like I already streamed this like way back when I was in Halloween time. But if you have not seen that one, if we like turn off the preview invisibility, you're going to see really weird stuff happening into my scene right now. You can see that there are some squares like floating in the. It looks really weird, right? And I will show you, and I will like tell you why it is something like this. This is actually just like, I know it's like it's a little bit of like randomly placed, or it looks like it's randomly placed, but it's not really randomly placed. This is actually just pretending that there is light comes from the from the window, and I will show you how I did this. First, I'm going to like disable the preview again. Wait, no, I need to show you. Okay, so if we're going into here, into this sculpt here that I have made here a spotlight, and I put that spotlight on the top. I cannot like put the spotlight behind, because if I do that, like I made for this tutorial an extra spotlight that's in here. It's also beaming like against the wall, but there is no window here, so of course the light cannot go in here unless I would like make the wall like waxiness, like I put like this waxiness. There maybe comes some light through it. A little bit, yeah, a little bit, but it's unnoticeable. So it's not like you can see that here. It's like it's shining a little bit through the window, but or like through the not the window, but like through the wall. But you don't want that. I don't want that the light is coming through the wall. I only want to have that the light comes through the window. So this light here is useless. We don't need that one. Get rid of it. So all what we need is we need a spotlight in front of the window, and so this one here, that's the only thing what we need to do. So you place something in front of the window or in front of an object that you want to lit up. But if you do that, you got situations like this, and this is not like a very realistic way how light works. If you wanna pretend that the light comes from the window. If the light actually comes from the window, you would see that here's a shadow going on. But because like we put the light in front of the window, we get that like, yeah, the spotlight. And you can of course tweak it a little bit with this here, but it always goes into a sphere. I'm not going to like discuss that in this video, but the light always is in a spherical form. We can't like deform the way how light or how the spotlight works, at least not at the moment of this recording. But there is a solution to get like pretend that there is actually like that light comes from the window instead of like in front, and that's how I did here, as you can see. But I did something extra as well. I also put an extra frame into it, and I will show you why. Because lights, as I said, is put in front of the window, so we cannot cast the we cannot cast shadow from this frame because the light is in front of it. So how are we going to do that? Well, simply, we're just going to need that same frame. We're going to clone this and put it a little bit in front of it, and now we have a little bit of like light casting or like shadow casting from the frame. So now it actually looks that there is like a spotlight actually behind the window, even though it's not, it's in front of it. But it's still not correct, because like the shadow here is a wall, so the shadow still should be going on here. So what do we need to do in order to get rid of that? You need to go into sculpt mode. So you're going into sculpt mode, and you're going to paint a, well, I would say a square for this situation. So we're going to add up a square, a block, and it doesn't need to be high quality or anything. You can stamp it into your scene. It's 13% right now, so we're going to downscale this all the way down till it's a 1% or something. And now we all need to do is line this up with the correct way how the wall is presented. So for example, this is where the wall starts. So that's also where we're going to add like the wall, so that like the light is not going further anymore than here. So now we have like shadow going on, and we're also doing that on the other side. So we're also going to place a second one, and be careful that you're not going to block the actual spotlight itself, otherwise it's going to be look very weird. And that's something, and that's like we're going to place it here. So now it actually looks that the sun, or that like the spotlight or sun basically in this case, is actually coming through the window. And now that we like put fake blocks into this so that we make like straight lines in the shadow, so now it actually looks that the spotlight is casting correctly. Now, of course, you don't want to deal, if you're going into play mode, you don't want, of course, deal that this is into your game, right? You don't want to deal with that. So, how are we going to, like, get, like, not visible into the scene or into your gameplay? Well, that's very simple. You're going to select the blocks that you just, like, put into your scene. You're going into your sculpture properties, and all the way on the bottom you see cast shadows, and we're going to say cast always. So we want that this object is always casting shadows. And of course you can, maybe if you don't want that, like if you have a bigger scene, you can always like say a trigger zone and say like only casting always shadows when we are closer to this object. So if you want to like save a few stuff into your gameplay, um, but like always put it on shadow, always on, and then go into physical properties and then click the visible of the sculpt. Tick that off, so the object is not going to be visible anymore when we are going to start our game. Now there is still like something going on, and that's I cannot jump here because it's still colliding with my character. You don't want to deal with that either, right? So you don't want that the character is having invisible walls happening because like you fake the light here. So you're going to select, or you probably have to do that already in the beginning, but we're going to select these objects again, and now we're going into the same tab, physical properties, and under here it says collidable. We're going to tick that off as well. So when we're going now into the scene, we can just like properly jump here, and we're not going to collide anymore with the with the scopes, right? And we also need to do that with the frame of the window. So we have here the frame, and let's go in, and then we're going to say always shadow on. Is not going to like visible, and is also not going to be collidable. And now it just looks like a normal window with like normal light comes out of that window. And that's how it is. That's how you fake lights. And in the other window here, I made an extra block, as you can see here. And the reason why that is simply because sometimes Dreams does really weird with lights. And sometimes light comes a little bit under the edges of like walls and stuff like that. So that's why I put like an extra block in there. So it's like it's blocking also that sometimes really weird like sunlight light comes to that point. So that's why I put that extra on there. And that's basically how you doing fake light in Dreams. I will like go outside the scene, and I will like go into a new creation. So if you want to see it step by step, but if you already know how this works, I hope this tutorial. It's a quick tutorial. I really hope that you learned something like from me. Hopefully, if you already knew this, then good for you. But if you didn't know this already, I hope you can make something very cool out of it, and you can make really great effects with this as well. If you're curious about that, just watch my tutorial about the sofa and sorry, not the sofa, but the television animation tutorial on my YouTube channel. That's where I explain what you can do with shadows, with waxiness and stuff like that. Very cool effects you can make, like television screens without like animating any flex or stuff like that. Very cool. So now we're going outside of this whole creation, and we're going to start a new one. And now I'm going to show you step by step how I did this. So how did I do this? Well, first we are going to build a we're going to use a wall. So I'm just going to search for a wall, and well, let's say this one here. It's like a brick wall. There you go. And it's a very expensive brick wall, by the way. And then we also need a window. Window. And that's this one here. I'm going to like large this a little bit. There you go. Maybe a little bit more smaller. And this window, we're going to put that against the brick wall. As close as possible without having to be. There we go. So now we have like a window that is like on the brick wall, right? You can of course what you also can do, you can like make like a hole into your brick wall. But if you're doing that, like you're making actually more like for example, you have like two walls, and you're going to cut out this one here. We will add up more graphics eventually, so it's not really needed to do that. That's why you should not do it. But this is a good solution to make something like this. All right, so we're basically going to recreate what I've just showed before. Now that we have like this situation, we're going into the gadgets, we're going for the spotlights, and the spotlights, we're not going to place it behind. I will show you first what that means. If you're putting behind, the window itself is lit up. That's because like the window is waxiness, and like I said, I made already a tutorial about this, how that works. Like waxiness always like shines things through, but it's not casting shadow anymore because the wall is still solid. The wall is not made out of wax. If I do that, you can see that like the spotlight now also is going to be visible on the wall as well, because the wall is now made out of like waxiness, and it makes more transparent. I'm not going to do an whole tutorial about this. You should watch that tutorial on my YouTube channel. That's where I explain everything about that part. But we're now going to create or recreate fake shadows, and we cannot really do that behind the wall. So what we need to do, and we're going to place the spotlights, let's say a little bit above the window here. A little bit smaller. Like a little bit like here. And it can be a little bit like, you have to like tweak this a little bit, of course. Okay, so we have like a spotlight now in the front. We need to, of course, place it so that it makes sense. And now we're going to tweak a little bit of the beams effects, or sorry, not the effects, but like the sliders. So here we have like the beam angle. So now we can like make the beam a little bit bigger if you want, till that we reach at least that we're like we hitting the edge of the window. That's what we need. And then we're going to say the fade angle, we can do that. We can also like increase the amount of like how far you want to go the light beam in. But let's pretend that the sun is at like, let's say it's around above. You can also, if you don't want that, you can also like just put it more further away, and then just like tweak the angle till we have till you think like, okay, this is perfect to me. And you can like, you need to tweak this a few times. Okay, so but now that we have that, we're not really casting any shadows. that's believable that there's coming something from the window, right? And we really want to do that. So we need to go inside this particular group and we need a frame. So we're going to add that frame into the sculpt and I'm putting it, as you can see, a little bit more in a different degree, like 25% degree. So like it's moving a little bit into the front. And why am I doing this? Is so that I know that the spotlight is actually hitting all the parts of the frame. So that's why I'm doing that. So now, like, everything from the frame is casting the shadow. There's only one problem still. This is not how light works, right? So this is not like how the light comes from the window. So we need to fix this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going into sculpt modes, what I did before. And we're going to make this bigger. So I am happy about this. Make it a little bit taller. Something like that. Boom. Of course, we don't want to have this so many high detailed, so we're going to like lower this quality to 1% because we don't need a high quality sculpt for this. That's really a waste of your resources. And we can even enlarge it as up as well, like so. Like around here. I think this is mostly the edge. Yeah, something like here. Something like here. And then we need another one to the other side. So we're going to block that part as well. And once we have done that, if you're going in play mode, you can still see. Oh, there it is. If you're going into play mode, you can still see that everything is into the scene, right? We don't want to deal with that. So we're going to select everything that's blocking the light. We're going into the properties. We say shadow, cast shadow always. Go into physical properties and click in like visible off, take that one off, and also take off the collidable. So if you're going to walk around into the scene, you don't want to like hit up against the wall, of course. So we're also going to say collidable no. And now we have like a perfect shadow like comes through the window, or like pretend that's come through the window. Only still need this one is still visible, so we need to do this as well. So cast shadow always, and then go into physical properties, not collidable and not visible. So now it's also still like reflecting, and we still need to fix a few stuff here. We can still see that there is some weird stuff here happening, but that's also because the main light from the source. So we need like, of course, the wall needs to, let me do this. There we go. And we need sun gadget in there. Pull that down. There you go. So because that's a little bit of like the thing. There we go. Move that away. So now we have like an almost perfect way of how the shadow works. Now the only thing what we still need to do, we're going into show height, untap the preview invisible so we see the stuff what we did, and we're going to need to fix this part here. So first I'm going to like move this here so I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So here we need a few stuff. Like we can see that like this thing here, because it's a round object, we want to make sure that that is like correct. So this is not like really like realistical, so we need to like change this a few so we get this right. And this is like something that you need to like practice a little bit. And then we're putting the wall back into the position so that like it looks like it's against the wall. Oh wait, what's happening here? What is happening here? Wait, did I move? Eject, I remove the light. Oh! Okay, I see. Let me put this out my group. I remove the whole window instead of only the frame. So something like this, and then we're going to like move the wall. Like that. And now it looks, it's not perfect yet, but now it looks like there is light comes to the window, and if you want to make it more believable, in this case, like the window is still very blunt, you can go into the scope still and put glow effect on it, but not emit anything. So now it looks actually that the window is lit up and like uh, like cast like shadow and light on it. It's still not perfect. Like you need to, like I said, you need to tweak a little bit. Like this thing, it's probably also this here. For the sake of the video, I want to make it so you can see. Like we need to touch the ground with this. Almost. So this. There you go. There it is. That's it. That's how you fake lights in dreams, or not lights. That's how you fake shadows in dreams. I hope that you learned something from this. Let me know in the comments. Uh, like I said, and it's sad that I need to say this from now on, but this is not the only way to do things. It's one way to do things in dreams. There are like tons of different ways to make shadows in dreams. There are tons of like different things. Like I said in the first thing in the first intro, you can do it with spotlights as well. But if you really want to like cast like framework and something like that, or you want to actually cast like trees, for example, this is like another like cool stuff that I can like show something. You want to maybe like fake there's also some leaves and a tree behind the window. Now you only need to go into the spotlight, and then we're going to like change the image size, as you can see here, and then we like need to like put the image blur a little bit higher so it's blend in, and now it looks that there is actually a tree, or that like it looks like there is a tree behind the window. Now we, if you look like here, you not really see the tree, right? So you can of course make that in dreams. You can like put something behind that very quickly. What you can do is just like go into scope mode and go with some squares. Oh no, not behind here, but like go into squares and like put a little bit like loosiness and a little bit sub blend and stretch the square out. And we're going to like twist this one, and you twist that one with the touchpad, and then we're going to like fake a little bit of like leaves happening into like so, and then like your do like lower detail of the sculpts, something like this, and then we can put it behind. But now we do actually need another like spotlight in order to make that work. So we're going to have another spotlight. So we're going to clone this one here. And if it's close enough to, let me see. Oh wait, I mean, of course we need to like not like you don't want to have the glow effect on, otherwise it's not going to work. You can do it a little bit, but that's, I would say, maybe, yeah. No, we don't want to need, we don't need that. So we're going to use this one here. We're going to make this one brighter, as it cannot go into. I'll make this a little bit more. So now it also looks that there is a tree behind the window as well. And this is like what I'm talking about with if something is waxiness, you can like make something believe that there is like a tree happening in the or like behind this window, but you did not actually like sculpt a window at all, just like a really random like stuff like this here, and actually make it believe that there is a tree behind the window. And of course, like you can of course like tweak it a little bit with the amount of like reflection a little bit. I would say not too much though. I think around here is fine. So like it lits up a little bit. You need like if you have something in a situation like this, you just like try a few like things out for yourself. What you think is best. But that's how you do it. That's how you like fake lights and fake not. I don't know why I say lights. It's like this is how you fake shadows in dreams. Very easy to do. It's not like it's a very clever thing to do if you don't want to sculpt extra things that you're not seeing in the scene anyway. This is how you do it, or like this is a way to do it. This is one solution to do it, of course. It's not the only way. There are multiple roads leading to Rome, but this is just like one way to make shadows in dreams, to make or to fake shadows in dreams actually. I really hope that this is something that you're, yeah, hopefully learned something from this. Let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you next time in the next video, next tutorial. And as always, don't forget to dream, everybody, and see you next time. Bye bye.